whether it's lost that progress and how important this program is?
Well, I don't think Ohio has kept up with what I tried to put in place when I was governor. You know, my first 2-year budget, I froze tuition. I held tuition, I think, to the lowest increase perhaps of any state in America during my time as governor. We expanded free college for veterans, for example. But what's happening in Ohio is happening across the nation. States are disinvesting in higher education, and it's really hurting us. It's hurting individual students, but it's hurting the nation's economy. We have about $1.3 trillion in student debt, and it's growing. And there are some things that we need to do about it. We need to allow students to refinance existing debt at a lower interest rate, something that I support, something that Elizabeth Warren supports, and many, many other Democrats, something that Senator Portman has opposed, as a matter of fact. But I'm also supportive of efforts to make sure that students can have debt and yet choose to go into professions where the pay is not as high as it may be in the higher paid professions. For example, we want students to be able to go into education and teach if they choose to. So making sure that a student has to pay no more than 10% of their annual income toward their student debt, I think is a good step in the right direction. And there are efforts such as that underway, and loan forgiveness programs for individuals that would choose to work in high need areas, whether it's teaching or maybe in the medical profession or other professions where there is a social need, a high need. So I think a lot can be done to make college more affordable. I also think many of our higher educational institutions have forgotten that their first obligation is to the student. And I'm convinced that tuition increases have gone up much higher than they needed to, in part because higher education institutions have made student education not the first priority, and it needs to be the first priority.
We can take one more.